What's up, guys? It's Carly with FasciNATIVE English, where if you are finally ready to take your English to another level and to begin speaking English like a native English speaker, then you've come to the right place. So let's get into it. What's up, guys? I have another slang word for you all today, and today's slang is salty. Again, that is salty. Now, what could salty possibly mean? All right. Salty just means angry, upset, or hostile, especially due to embarrassment or failure. All right. You're angry, you're upset, you're hostile due to being embarrassed or because you failed at something. Embarrassment or failure. All right. You are salty. This is kind of a new slang term. It's not super new, but I would say the past 10 years or so, this has become extremely more common to hear. You're like, oh, that person's salty, or man, stop being so salty. You know, you hear this slang word quite often in TV shows and podcasts, your day-to-day life, on social media. You'll hear this slang word a lot. You know, it's becoming increasingly more common to hear and see this everywhere you go. So salty just means you're angry, you're upset, you're hostile because you're kind of embarrassed of something or you failed at doing something. My story that I have for you all today, it's a story about a coworker that I used to have. And this coworker, she would deliberately do things sometimes that were against the rules.
And you're a rule breaker.
Nobody really said anything to this coworker because they were just like, well, you know, she's been here a long time and it's kind of not worth saying anything to her because she's just gonna do it again and again and again. Again and again and again and again. So why say anything to her? She's gonna break the rules as many times as this occurred, which was multiple times over the course of, let's say, like a year and a half. It had been like 6 or 7 times where her breaking the rules had affected other people, including myself. And so I brought it up to managers, I brought it up to other people in our group, and it just seemed like nothing was happening. She would be told, hey, do that. And that was it. Eventually, I was kind of like a little bit upset.
Don't get the Hulk angry. You won't like him when he's angry.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit upset. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna take matters in my own hands. I'm just gonna politely say, please don't do this anymore. We'll move forward. I did that, but she did not like the fact that I did that. So she sent an email to the entire group department, the entire everyone, all the employees in my department, basically saying how I was the one being salty.
Oh,
you know, she's breaking the rules or whatever, but I'm the one calling her out on it. So maybe she was saying I was being petty, which is another slang term that we use. Like, I was just like being very like petty about it. Like, oh, there's other stuff that, you know, you could be focused on, but instead you're focused on me and the stuff that I'm doing. Honestly, that was not the case. It was just, you're breaking the rules. You breaking the rules are affecting other people and the work that we can do and put in. So please just don't break the rules. That's all I was saying. Well, she sent out this email saying that I'm being petty. So I sent out an email as well.
Gotcha.
Just saying all the things that she's done wrong and how we're not supposed to do these things and we're supposed to do these things instead. And if you forget the rules, well, here's a link to the rule book.
A list.
And boom. That was it. After that, she became very, very, very salty because everybody agreed. Everyone else was like, you're in the wrong. Carly is just trying to help. You're in the wrong because not only are you breaking the rules constantly, but then you're calling her out, another expression that we use. You're calling Carly out for calling you out on breaking the rules. Doesn't make sense. It's like that Spider-Man meme where everybody's like pointing to each other, like, who's doing it? Well, you know, they're like, Carly, just wanted to let you know that this shouldn't happen and you shouldn't be doing this. And maybe you should be considerate of other people and not put them in awkward situations where we have to tell you how to do your own job. You know, you have been here a long time, you should know better. That's basically, in the nicest way possible, what I was saying. But then she wanted to kind of drag me under the bus, which I think I have a video on that, maybe, possibly. I don't even remember. I've done so many of these videos now. And because she wanted to drag me under the bus or throw me under the bus, I think that's the video that I did it on. Because she wanted to throw me under the bus, I had to protect myself, you know? So I had to send an email back explaining like, hey, no, this is what's going on. You broke the rules. Here's all the rules that you broke. Maybe I was being a little bit petty when I did that. I was like, you broke all these rules. And I was like, please just be considerate of others because we have to work too. And when you do this, we can't work, you know, because we need you to not do this so that we can get our work done too. But after that, after the email was sent, she became extremely salty. I think like still to this day, she's salty possibly because she was called out, you know? She knew that she was in the wrong, so she was embarrassed, but also she didn't win the argument because her argument was like, it shouldn't matter. Basically just, it doesn't really matter. But my argument was, well, it does matter, so don't do it anymore. And she was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Because she didn't win the argument and she failed, she became salty. She became salty towards me, towards a few of the other workers that were kind of on my side. Actually, most of the people were on my side.
Don't make me choose sides. I pick you.
She has a few friends that were like, yeah, I'm not taking sides. You know, I'm like in the middle here. So she became salty. You know, it's always awkward whenever somebody is upset and there's like an elephant in the room. Oh my goodness, there's so many expressions that I have in this video today. You're gonna learn way more than just the slang word salty. When there's an elephant in the room, it means like something happened and it's still lingering here in the room, but nobody wants to talk about it because it's awkward to talk about. That's what an elephant in the room means. Maybe I'll have to do a video on that here soon. But it just means like there's something awkward in the room. Nobody's mentioning like it because it's too awkward to talk about. So sometimes there's like an elephant in the room, but honestly, when it comes down to the bottom line, it's just, I was a little bit salty too, maybe petty, but I was a little bit salty. I was a little bit angry, upset, hostile at the fact that she always breaks the rules and never gets reprimanded for it, you know? And maybe you can call me a
Karen or whatever you want to call me for complaining.
Usually I just stay in my lane, which is another expression. Usually I just mind my own business and I don't really say anything. And that's what I've been doing this whole time because I'm just like, whatever, like as long as it doesn't affect me, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to rat other people out. I don't want to be a tattletale or whatever. Lots of good vocabulary, slang words and expressions in this video today. Anyways, I usually just stay in my own lane. I don't really like to make a fuss, but because this one circumstance, it affected me and my work, I was like, I can no longer just stand by and say nothing. I have to speak up. So you can call me a Karen, which is like, you know, here in America, we call people Karens whenever they like to complain or whatever. You know, you have those people that are like, I want to speak to your manager, please. And we call those people Karens, you know? But honestly, I was just salty that she would never get in trouble for always breaking the rules, or she would get in trouble, but she would just get like a little, you know, like you do to a 2-year-old. Like, no, she wouldn't actually get disciplined, quote unquote, for doing these things. I was salty. I replied to the email. I was being petty as well in the email. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I've already apologized for my pettiness. But then she was very salty back, you know, and it was just this whole thing where it all came down to her just being embarrassed that she was wrong and that she's finally, everything's catching up, you know. Finally, she's not gonna be able to get away with breaking the rules any longer. She's just gonna have to abide by the rules like everyone else. And I think she was just salty about that. Eventually it blew over. I'm pretty sure she's cool with it now. It was, you know, I don't even work at that place anymore. So we're cool, we're friends-ish. But for a good bit, like she was salty about it. And I just had to pretend not to know that there was an elephant in the room. Pretend to ignore the awkwardness. So I hope you guys have a better understanding of this slang word salty. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next video.